Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I'm super excited to let you all know that I am now a design team member for the Bleeding Art Challenge blog. I'll have details to the blog in the description below. So this is my first design team project for the Bleeding Art Challenge. And I'm starting with this wooden heart. This month's challenge was anything goes, but use cardboard. So I'm using cardboard. I took a die with the word love, and I ran it through my cuddle bug quite a few times, probably about 15 times, back and forth, and it still just wasn't thick enough. So, or it was still too thick for the die to cut through. So I used a Fiskars X-Acto knife to cut the rest of it out, and I did that twice. And then on the second one I pulled off the top layer of the cardboard, so I had the corrugated showing. I did the same thing with this Sizzix heart die with another piece of cardboard, and then I'm actually going to use the cardboard cutout, the negative, as like a stencil, and I'm going to use this Finnabair texture paste, stone paste, just to add two little hearts in the background for a little grit. And while the texture paste is still wet, I'm gonna attach the cardboard heart to the middle. So I'm still gonna add some glue to it, but just to be on the safe side. But while it's wet, I'm gonna smush that in there. Then I have these wing cutouts that I had on my workstation, and I'm using them as a stencil. And again, I'm using cardboard, and I'm going to trace them out and then cut them with scissors, X-Acto knives, pretty much whatever I can use to cut through that thick cardboard. And then I'm going to peel, like I did the word love, I'm going to peel that top layer off, just to get that corrugated look to the cardboard. And then I'm going to use the stone paste again, just to give these a little more grit and grunge. And then I'm going to use my Liquitex Basic gesso and just cover the entire piece. I wasn't sure. I knew I wanted to use some inks and some stains, but I wasn't exactly sure what I was going to do. So covering in gesso always gives you, a base to work on. So I also covered the word love cutout, and oh, I did dry brush a little bit over the wings as well. Here I'm just taking, what's left over on my brush and going over like the raised edges of the corrugated cardboard. Then I'm going to take some Apple Barrel, just cheapy acrylic paint, and I'm going to paint the inside heart, and just covering that inside heart. And then I'm going to take some crackle medium from Folk Art, and once that's dried, then I went over top of the heart in red. And with crackle mediums, like the more you work it, your cracks like start coming through. So you can see the more I'm brushing it on, the cracks are already starting. And then quick blast with the heat tool, and that brought out all those wonderful, delicious cracks and crackles. Then I'm going to take the same red paint and cover the word love, dry that, and then I'm going to take the crackle glaze, or the crackle medium, over that as well. And then I'm going to dry that up. No, that one I let dry naturally. I'm sorry. So now I'm taking Finnabair's rust paste, and this is copper, and I'm going to cover the entire background in the copper paint. This is the patina line, and I knew I wanted rusty and grungy, but I also wanted patina. I can't ever make up my mind. I want it all. So I started with the copper, covering the whole background, and then this is the mint. And I'm just adding this sporadically throughout the background of the heart. And then after I add the mint, I think I let that layer dry. Yes, I let that layer dry. And I set it aside, and then I took some black folk art acrylic paint and went over the word love, and the cracks started like immediately. So then I'm going to take, once the heart was dry, the mint on the heart was dry, then I used the blue in the set to highlight around to give it that, not oxidized, that patina effect. Just went around the edges and made sure to highlight the edges as well. And then I'm going to dry brush over top the raised part of the corrugated cardboard on the word love. Now for the wings. So I'm going to take the folk art black acrylic and just cover them completely in the black acrylic paint. And then I'm going to take a light stucco. I get it from the dollar store. It's super light and fluffy. I'm going to add some brown acrylic paint. I'm going to add some black and some red. And then I'm going to add a little bit of sand. I'm essentially making my own rust paste. My containers of Finnabair rust paste that I had were dried out, and I was so disappointed. But I made do, and I made my own rust paste. And here I'm just adding just a little bit of sand just to give it that grit and chunkiness to it. And then I'm going to cover the wings in the homemade rust paste. And then I have these gears that were cut out of just plain black cardstock. And I'm going to cover them as well in the rust paste. And then I'm going to take some around the edge of that heart. And then I'm going to spray it with a little bit of water just to get it to flow just a little bit. And then I'm going to take Distress Oxide spray in Vintage Photo, I believe it was. And I'm going to take that around the edge with my paintbrush instead of spraying it like, you know, like essentially like you're supposed to. And I'm going to spritz that around with water as well to spread it out. All right, now I'm going to be using some Ken Oliver color bursts to give a little more grunginess to the background. So I spritzed the whole heart with water, and then I'm sprinkling the color bursts in the background. And now I'm just going to attach the gears that I had rusted up around the heart. And now to work on the wings again. I'm using Dina Wakley Media Heavy Body Acrylic in Cheddar. So I'm using the cheddar, and then I'm also using the yellow rust paste. Out of all of my rust paste tins, that was the only one that wasn't completely dried out. So then I add some of the blue as well. And I'm kind of just working these three colors on the different elements, on the love, the word love, on the gears, and a little bit throughout the heart. And so I attached the wings to the heart with E6000, and I felt like they were just fading into the background. So I'm taking this blue Metallique paint from Finnabair and just highlighting the edges around the elements, around the wings and the heart. I felt like they were kind of too matchy to the background, and I wanted them to stand out just a little bit more without being super standout-ish. I go around the inside heart with some of that blue metallic, I can't even talk, metallic paint, as well as the word love. I was just trying to get, each element to pop out on its own. So then I'm going to take what's left on my mat and mix it with some water and add some splatters throughout the piece. And then I'm going to take Inga Gold in Sunny Blue, I believe it's called. And I still felt like, so I got the wings to pop off the background, and then I felt like the love was fading into the wings. So I'm adding a little of the Inga Gold in the blue, and then Finnabare's Rose Gold waxes. And then I'm also taking that rose gold wax around the edge of the heart, as well as on top of some of the gears. So now I feel like it pops out a little more, which I'm happy with. So I'm going to use E6000. Although it's not super heavy, it's just so textured between the corrugated cardboard below and the different layers in the word. I just wanted a good strong hold. So I'm going to attach that with the E6000. And then I have a piece of copperish looking silk that I'm just going to attach through the holes and tie knots to make a little hanger. And then that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for having me, and I'm excited to be a design team member, and I look forward to the next one and can't wait to see what you guys create in the challenge. Have a great one, guys. Bye.